Hey guys, it's Steve with Basketball with Steve. Today we are going to talk about why the media never gave Carmelo Anthony a chance.
Should the Bulls foul? No. Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied. In the hands of Anthony. Anthony for three. Puts it in! Knicks by one with 8.2 remaining.
And I did some thinking and I started to formulate and understand why. Now, what I've come up with is because the era in which Carmelo Anthony came into the NBA. The era Melo came into the NBA was Allen Iverson era. So the first thing to understand is that Allen Iverson was the first player to really start this whole topic on the way players dress and representing the NBA as a business instead of some ghetto association. So that is why the NBA came up with the dress code. The thing about Carmelo Anthony is pretty much just like Allen Iverson. Carmelo Anthony had the cornrows, he had the afro for a little bit, he wore the baggy pants, he wore the baggy shirts, he wore the do-rags, he wore the hats backwards, sideways. Carmelo Anthony was pretty much a 6'8" Allen Iverson. And it's funny because they played on the same team as well, and that's where the media first started to despise Carmelo Anthony, because while most other players started to act different and dress different, Carmelo Anthony didn't change. He still had the cornrows. Obviously you had, Ben Wallace with the afro, the nappy hair, stuff like that. Rasheed Wallace dressing baggy, but they weren't superstars to the likes of Allen Iverson and Carmelo Anthony. So when you have that much attention and you're not dressing the way the NBA wants you to dress and represent the league, there's going to be a lot of hate. And that is one of the main reasons why I believe Carmelo Anthony never really got the love that LeBron James did from the media, is because Carmelo Anthony wasn't a golden boy. And then came the biggest mistake in his career. Carmelo Anthony decided to be in a video with a few gang members talking about guns, talking about lynching people, and he's sitting there laughing, and it just wasn't a good look for Carmelo Anthony.
We ain't play my man, I swear to God. I don't know what we're gonna do to him, but we're gonna lynch his ass if he ever come here. When they come play them Wizards up there, we're gonna lynch his ass. Yeah.
Especially when you're an NBA superstar, to be in that type of situation is not good. You never want to put yourself in that situation. And obviously, LeBron James even called Carmelo and said, that's not good. You got to get away from that. And that's when Melo started to get away from that. And then came the second biggest mistake in Melo's career.
Smith on. There's a flagrant 2 foul. He's going to get thrown out of the game. Smith coming right back at him. And this has turned ugly on the floor. Another punch is thrown. Anthony, and now Jeffrey's going at it. This is turning into some kind of disaster right now. If they don't hold on to some of these players, Jeffries needs to hold back.
The New York Knicks versus the Denver Nuggets. We all remember this brawl. It was one of the biggest brawls in NBA history. Carmelo Anthony, Nate Robinson, Jared Jeffries, a whole bunch of players, both from Denver and New York. J.R. Smith were fighting and brawling and throwing punches, and one of the biggest fights in NBA history. And NBA superstar Carmelo Anthony, who had a multi-year, multi-million-dollar sneaker deal, who had numerous endorsements, one of the faces of the league, was in the center of it. And once again, just not a good position to put himself in. You can't go out and punch people like that when you're an NBA superstar. So once again, LeBron James calls up Carmelo Anthony and tells him, yo, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be a role model. You're supposed to be doing what you need to do to promote your brand positively and help these young children realize that there's other ways out. And at the end of the day, look at Carmelo Anthony now. I think he's one of the best role models to look up to in the NBA. He's a really good guy. If you guys ever watch Vice Sports, go check out some of the documentaries that Carmelo Anthony did with them. He went to Rikers Island. He went to a few countries in Latin America. He went a lot of places just promoting positivity and telling them that there's other ways to change your life than just violence. So yeah, he's a great guy now. I think he's a great role model, and I really think people should start to look up to him and appreciate him, because he's one of the game's best players ever, and it's sad that he's unappreciated. But thank you for watching, and as always, stay awesome and keep moving forward.